Hey, lovely people of the world. Welcome back to Mornings with Jazz. This was actually supposed to be my first ever episode of Mornings with Jazz, but obviously I saw some news and I felt that required much more urgent coverage than this video. So I've pushed this video back. If you haven't checked out my previous video, which was actually about a model that was kidnapped and was almost sold on the dark web, then please check that out. I'll leave the link in the description box and I'll also have a card at the end of the video. Also, if you haven't checked out my first ever video, which is to do with what exactly my channel is about, a bit about me, a bit about what I want for my channel, then please go and check those out as well. I'll have them linked below, and welcome to episode 2. So like I mentioned in my previous video, which if you haven't watched then you won't know, I have a tradition. It's a British tradition. We always talk about the weather. Since I'm actually recording this on the same day as my last video, the weather is actually the same, although I can add some news that I can see the sun poking out from one of the clouds just to my left hand side. Things are looking slightly up. I haven't checked the weather, but I'm pretty sure that it's still going to continue to rain. So it's just really wet outside, and don't you just hate that like rain smell? I just hate the rain smell. Oh, also, shop loungewear. So I love comfort. Just who doesn't like being comfortable? So I actually am wearing a different outfit from my last video, even though I'm literally recording it about 20 minutes after. I'm actually wearing pajamas now, so I'm even more comfortable than I was before. I will also have those linked in the description box below. So covered weather, I've said hello. How are you? Please let me know. I feel like that's also another British thing. Like, we always say, hey, how are you? And then it's just like an opener. Let's get straight into the second video. So this is episode 2 of Mornings with Jazz. For the topic that I wanted to do today is slightly more lighthearted than my previous video. My previous video had some really dark stuff in it. And this is more of a question-based video. So I'm not sure whether I should name these different things like a series type thing, but the question we're going to consider is, if you received enough money to never work again, what would you spend your time doing? As easy as the question looks when you first look at it, when you really start thinking about it, this question is deep to some next level. Obviously, the correct answer, there's no correct answer, but the obvious thing to say, I would spend time doing things I loved. You would have more time to do hobbies. You wouldn't have to worry too much about working a 9-to-5 job, paying the bills, doing new adventures, doing new hobbies. I think it's really cool to pick up hobbies. I really want to learn how to snowboard. I think it'd be so good. But I'm always studying around the time when it's best to go to like the Alps to go skiing or snowboarding. So I'd love to be able to do that. And I feel like there would be nothing to stop me really if I did have enough money to just never have to do anything again. I'm a student right now. Would I drop out? I'd like to think I wouldn't. I wouldn't drop out, because you got to make a future for yourself. What if the money's not there in the future? Like, you got that much money now, but what if you spend it like a ridiculous idiot? Then it could be a problem. So I'd like to think I wouldn't drop out and I would continue, but it would make things a lot easier if I did drop out just to do everything else. I think it's really important to consider what exactly you would need to fulfill yourself for the rest of your life. What are the essentials that you need? After that, everything is just gravy, right? Like, it's just a bonus on top of that. Personally, I think I'd love to travel a lot more. I mean, I do travel now. I go on vacation with my parents and all of them lot. But traveling with no boundaries would just be a dream. I think property is super important. Property to live in, obviously, but also for future investment. There's so much rental opportunity or or even a holiday home. Oh my god, I love watching like Escape to the Country, and people think I'm weird that I watch those shows, but oh my god, they're so informative. I think I'd sleep a lot if I did have enough money to not have to work again the rest of my life. I would sleep at ridiculous times and wake up at ridiculous times. I feel like even though that is terrible and I probably shouldn't do that, I probably would do that because yay, sleep. Also, I think there'd be no boundaries on studying. I love learning new things all the time. I mean, that's what my channel's all about. And even though I said I think I may, even though I think I wouldn't want to drop out, but if I did because I felt, oh, I'm king of the world or whatever, but I think you wouldn't have to worry about the debt afterwards. You could go and you can study and you can just, just do so much. And also, I mean, this is like cliche, like I'll give some to charity, but I feel like it's not just I'd give some to charity. I think I'd have much more time to do charity work because I wouldn't have to be concerned about, oh, I want to need to pay off my studying debt or my university debt, or I don't have to worry about going to work 9 to 5. I think I could literally just live off doing charity work and just doing humanitarian work. I think that would be great. But when you hear, this happens in the UK all the time, where people win the lottery and like they've got like millions and millions, I don't know, so however much the lottery rollover is that week, and it's usually young people like 18, 19-year-olds that have won the, I mean, specifically this is not just 18 and 19-year-olds win the lottery. I mean, specifically in terms of what I'm talking about, 18, 19-year-olds have, or even 16-year-olds, because you can be 16 and upwards to do the lottery. And even 16-year-olds, they've won the lottery and they've dropped out of school and whatever, and then within 4 or 5 years they're back on benefits, which is where the government is giving you amount of money because you can't live a certain way. You wouldn't be able to live without it. And I think that just highlights how much more education there needs to be in school about finance. And I don't just mean, oh, if you win the lottery, this is how you should spend your money. Just in general, learning how to open a bank account, learning how to, I mean, I know when you're young, you don't want to think about that, but maybe you should do it because you have to go to school until you're 18 now, definitely, in the UK. Then maybe when you're 17, 18, you need to think about teaching, I mean, I say kids, but there'll be 17, 18-year-olds, young adults, exactly how to spend them, no, not how to spend their money, but how to track their finances so they don't end up being the people who are millionaires and then 5 years later have nothing to their name other than debt, maybe. The question, if you received enough money to never work again, what would you spend your time doing? Realistically, I want to say I would do nothing differently other than maybe adding some extra trips here and there, treating myself here and there with some lovely clothes, a lot more lounge wear. I think I'd like to think that I'm a hard enough worker and I hate being just free all the time. I wouldn't want to have nothing to do. I get bored so easily. I think I'd continue to do the same thing with just some added perk. Other people would probably say I do, how people want to be an artist but it's not practical. How are you going to survive? How are you going to pay the bills? That's not practical. Go and do an office job. Some people would say they do the job that they wanted to do. And for me, I think I'd love to be a director. Like, imagine directing a TV show or directing a movie. Oh my god, that would literally be life. And I think I'd want to do that. Plus, I could literally produce, if I had enough money, I could literally produce my own show. And literally nobody could tell me to do anything. I would do everything myself. I think it's really difficult to think about that situation when you're not in it. So I'm not in that situation where I would never have to work again to survive. And if you received enough money to never have to work again, that's different for each person, right? I just thought about that. Do you see the light bulbs like going off all over my head? That's different for everybody. The amount of money I would need to survive, even if I live my current lifestyle right now, would be different from maybe you who's listening. I would have a different lifestyle. I may need more or less money per week than you to spend just for me what I think I would need to survive in terms of where I live, how I travel places, how if you know how to drive and you have a car, then obviously you have to buy petrol, which is different if you're just taking public transport or a bus. So what you actually need to survive is different. So that question is actually super flawed. I just thought about that. Whoa. So in my opinion, the question is hard to answer. So let me know in the comment section below what you would do. Also tweet me more questions that you want me to do on the question series on my channel, and I will try and get through as many questions as I can. And talking about travel, I want to make a couple of videos about places I want to travel, things you could do there, places I have been and things that you can do there, places you can eat, stuff like that. So if you have a place in mind that you want me to talk about, if I haven't been there, I'll do research and try and get the best information I can. But if I have been there, there'll probably be the videos I focus on more, and I will try and get those out. So tweet me. Did I say tweet me or comment? Either way, tweet or comment places you want me to do in the comment section below. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it if you liked it that much. If you have any comments, leave and I will try and answer them. Any link, my social media links will be in the description box, as well as links to my other videos. Yeah, I think that's it. And quick weather update, is raining, and is raining on me because I'm sitting by my window, so I may have to close my window. Yeah, so if you can hear a little pitter patter, it's the rain, because obviously this is the UK. And what does it do all the time? Rain. Yay. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next episode, which will be episode 3, and I already have exactly what it is that I want to do in mind, so I'll be recording that very soon, and I will see you on my next episode. So please make sure that you subscribe if you aren't already, which I don't think you are, because but if you like my content, then please subscribe. Watch out for my next video. So bye.